Alright. Y'all gonna have to deal with the little cupcake tonight. But on tonight's topic on Pillow Talk, we are going to talk about a show called Severance. Um, we've already watched season 2, waiting for season 3. Not really sure when that's gonna come out, but yeah. My cousin. I don't know. I don't know if that's going in the thingy, but yeah.
What?
That noise. It's in your mic. Bro, we're on.
What?
What did you think we were doing? We think I'm just talking to rehearse?
Yeah, enough chat.
You're right. Don't you have something to talk about this show? How dare you? Anywho. So, yeah. I'm going to hand over most of the information, the talk to my co-host. Since it's your topic, fool. You... Go on, talk.
You're the worst. Yeah, so we watched Severance. Inspired by I guess Tory Lanez had a couple of bars about Severance in his recently released Peterson album from while he's still incarcerated. He mentioned a couple of things about Severance that got me interested to look it up, and I was watching some reactors or reactions to the album, and they kind of spoke up a little bit more about what Severance was, and I don't know. I just wanted to. I went on my little app that I watch movies on. I ain't, nobody is sponsoring us, so I'm not gonna give any apps out. But the app it's I just heard them react to the album and have this conversation about Severance, and then on my app, the number one trending show was literally Severance. So I didn't even have to look for it. I just opened the app, it was there. I started watching it. I think after a couple of episodes in, I tapped my partner and was like, "Yo, we should watch this together when we have the chance." So then I pretty much kind of watched it over with her. No, she caught up, and then we watched season 2 together for the most part. If you don't know, I think it is an Apple TV. I think. So if you don't have an app that just gets you shows and movies and stuff, I think this one is an Apple TV production or whatever. So you can head there to watch it. Spoiler alert, because we're going to talk about things from season 1 and season 2. So if you haven't watched it and you want to watch it before you listen to what we have to say about it, now is the time. This is the spoiler alert. So if you are still here, then yeah, we about to talk about it. So I think it's a really interesting show and concept. Severance is basically about being able to split your work life and home life balance, but literally, it's literally split. They're two different people. You gotta go through a process or some type of surgery or whatever, and then they put the severance thing in your brain. So basically, when you get to work, it's a specific work, a specific company. It's not all over. So it's only one company that's doing this. But when you get to work, you take a special elevator to get to your floor. So people who are in the severed program, they go to the severed floor. When you get in the elevator, it like turns you off and turns your severed personality on. So then your severed personality goes to work, does your 9 to 5. When you're clocking out now and getting back in the elevator to go upstairs, that's when your severed personality gets turned off and you get turned back on. So all you do is come to work and then you leave work. You don't work. Your personality itself doesn't work. You don't remember what your other personality is doing, and it's a very interesting concept because a lot of times people would love to separate, their work selves and their home selves. And this show is like, you know, an interesting take on it, on what it would look like in real life. It's pretty crazy. Like a lot of there's it's a TV show, so they have to like take it there. But there's a lot of things that are like like let's say you're they call them innies and outies. So the personality that goes to work is the innie, and then the personality on the outside is the outie. So your innie could, I don't know, accidentally staple their finger or whatever. So your outie will have the injury, like you'll be able to feel the pain. You'll probably get a note on your car or on somewhere. You'll get a note from the I guess the company, kind of explaining to your outie what happened to your innie while they're at work. Um, a lot of the times, as corruption creeps in, a lot of the times they're lying. They'll just, like, your innie could have like fought somebody and they'll just be like, oh, they a book fell on them and they hit their head on, like, they'll just make up whatever. So that part is like, that started getting kind of wild, and then we get into the show. Long story short, season 1 introduces a rebel character.
Yeah, we're not gonna spoil the surprise because if anybody who hasn't seen it,
I gave them spoilers already, so I told them that at this point they just gonna hear some stuff. I'm gonna try to like not be as detailed as possible. I'm gonna try to hold. I'm gonna just say we get introduced to a rebel character in season 1 that basically starts to show us what happens and the differences. Like she's really trying to quit. So those are some of the questions that like people might have when you start watching the show. Like, what if you want to quit? What if you want to do this? What if you want? So the rebel character's outie, like it was crazy. Like the outie, she wanted to quit.
Twist.
Yeah, she wanted to quit. The outie is like they're communicating through recorded messages because they share one body. They can't like talk to each other. So the outie recorded a message for the innie to get at work, like a physical message, like a video message, basically. And she was like, "Yo, this is my body. You do what I say. If you want to quit, that's too bad. Because guess what? I don't." Basically. And it was crazy because it's like it introduces like internal conflict on a whole nother level. Like I said, the show is really interesting. And then towards the end of season 1, they figure out a way to like break out or like wake up. Like they figure out a way to turn on their innies while they're outside. So they come up with a plan to do that so that they can expose basically the company and tell them everything that's like really going on. That it happened, but it didn't go the way that they thought it would. And that was the end of season 1, and then comes season 2.
Before you go into season 2, it's crazy how the intro is for almost every time you watch it. It's like, anybody who is tripping, good luck, because that right there is really trippy. And then as you're watching each episode, yeah, it's very trippy because you're just like, what, huh, what's going on? Like, it's a lot of what and huh throughout the whole thing. and like my co-host said, like towards the end, it kind of gets put together, and I say kind of because it's like that rebel is still a plot twist to it, which opens up for season 2.
She'll be alright. So our little one is here crawling and trying to escape, and yeah, so we are trying to keep an eye on her while we do the podcast. So far, so good. She ain't crying. So and we already fed her and stuff. She's just not trying to go to sleep. So yeah, so then season 2. You want to do that as a separate thing, or because I'll just, I guess.
We could. It's up to you. Don't matter to me. If you want to do it separate, if you want to do it all together, I'm cool with it.
Yeah, we'll just go all together. So season 2, basically, more spoilers. So if you didn't watch maybe you watched season 1, but you didn't watch season 2. So these are season 2 spoilers now. Again, I will not be too detailed. But long story short, in season 2, they introduce what's really going on, and it's really weird. And by the end of it, I'm not even really gonna break down or explain season 2 like that.
The end was retarded to me. Like it. Yeah.
Towards the middle, like they're switching sides. Like they're working with ops, which sometimes I'm not always one to be like, yo, we've been fighting this person for 20 years. Now we going to team up and nah. I'm not always with that. So I didn't like that they have that in there, but I don't know if it's between season 1 or season 2, but they really kind of explain that the op was the one that kind of like created this technology or made it or something like that.
Yeah.
So in that regard, yeah, I can not excuse, but I can understand working with the op because nobody knows more about it than her. So, right. So they start working with the op
without knowing that they're working with the op in a way.
Well, the sister knows, and the sister knows. He told the sister about that my code because she stole a baby. Remember the whole that whole situation? Yeah. So like, it's not like she's completely unaware that this person is my boss at work and she is my neighbor. That's funny.
The situation ends up happening to said person. It's just funny how, like, she's like, you know what? Let's do this without saying a spoiler. Let's do this, and it's like, so I go from going against the app to now working with the app to what the sunflower seeds is going on.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's like when writers, they're just producing a show, and like the first season's like a test run. They're like, we're just gonna see how this goes, and this and that, and it works out really good. You know, the audience loves it, blah blah blah. And now they come up with a season 2, and it's like, come on, y'all just like, oh, we got billions of dollars to waste. That's what it seems like. So it's like season 1, phenom. Season 2, could have done better. I wish them luck for season 3, and I ain't gonna lie, I've seen some characters in other movies, and no, I'm not advertising the movies because again, we're not getting sponsored. I am not trying to be out there, advertising people. The only reason why we decided to speak about this show is because again, we were listening to Tory Lane's album Peterson, and the intrigue, being intrigued was there, so we had to look. Well, he had to go look at it, and then he got me into it. Not even gonna lie, we were starting to watch Burn Notice, and Burn Notice just burned off.
Burn Notice is. Well, that's not what this podcast is about, but Burn Notice is it's a show back in the time of like House and all of them other shows. It was a good USA show, and I was just trying to just like re-watch it like in order because when I don't think I watched anything on TV in the right order because like I wasn't always in the house and I felt like I would just like not really commit and I was yeah so but with Netflix and these other apps and whatever you could just binge and watch it in order and not really miss the details and stuff so unfortunately that hasn't completely happened with Burn Notice but at least we got 2 seasons of Severance down. So,
Yeah, no, seriously.
looking forward to season 3 because, like I said, I feel like Severance is a really psychological type of series. Because, like I said, I feel like this is the ultimate like you versus yourself kind of show. And it is it's really like kind of trippy, even like from the intro, like.
It's a real life situation, and I'm gonna tell you why. Most of you people can agree with me. When you go into work, you're like this one person, and then when you come out of work, you're a whole different person. So when you go into work, this whole persona of you takes over, where it's like, "Oh, hey, Mike, how's your day?" And then when you leave, you're like, "Oh, fuck that nigga." Like your whole persona is just like you don't know Mike on the outside, but you know Mike on the inside. So when you see Mike, Mike could be Carl for all you know. So I don't think the names kind of switch up a little bit, but they're still the same. But it's just a different person. Like what you're doing at work is not what you do outside of work. So when you clock in for work, different person. You don't remember sugar muffins, nothing at all. But then when you when you leave work, you totally don't know nothing about work. Your mind is on the outside of life, which I'm not gonna lie, it's so much better because why are we taking what happened at work home? When we're at home, just worry about home. Don't worry about work. What happened at work? Done deal. Case closed. I fought with Mike. I'm done. All right. Hi, honey. I'm home. How was your day? Awesome. It's funny because you won't know you got in a fight with Mike.
Yeah, it's hard to have a bad day at work and bring that baggage home if you don't know what happened at work.
So, I would definitely recommend watching season 1 and season 2. Get an idea of it. Yes, we did some spoilers, but guess what? You're intrigued to understand what we just said to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thought so. Go on, watch it.
Yeah, definitely give Severance a watch. Is there anything else you want to say about it? Or any of these?
No. I feel like we put this show out there for people to watch. It's gonna be the part where they're gonna look at it like in real life, like this is what they really be doing. Because, what's that movie? Sorry to Bother You.
No, yeah.
Especially if you work in customer service. Anybody who works in customer service will agree with me. All of a sudden, your voice would be like mad proper, and then off the phone, you'd be like, "Yo, you know what?" It just turned hood out of nowhere. So, when you're talking to people that you're dealing with the business versus like your friends, so clients versus your friends, 2 different levels of how you're addressing them. But yeah, no, seriously, like we are not sponsored for this, but we don't have a problem like letting you know what we watched, and you guys can go watch it and stuff and enjoy it. And hey, well, even if when you watch it and you finish watching it, come back to this podcast and drop a line. Let's talk about it.
Yep. Feel free to comments. Drop your opinions and thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe and stuff. And we'll catch you in the next one.